Hey, it's Ryan from Upfit Supply, and in this video, we're gonna be talking about upfitting a RAM ProMaster City, tips and tricks and things you need to know before you get started. Let's get into it. So the ProMaster City is a compact style van. It's a smaller van as opposed to the RAM ProMaster, which is the full-size van. The downside about the RAM ProMaster City is that they're actually discontinuing it. So if you're watching this, you may be buying a new one if you're in 2023-ish, or you may be buying a used one or have a used one that you need to put some shelving in or upfit or do something on the inside. And so hopefully this video is helpful to you as you figure out what you want to do in the back of your van. Now, this one we have here is a used van we picked up. It actually had an upfit in it. We tore it all out, had a bulkhead in it. We took that out. And so we're starting with a blank template, a blank slate. We get to figure out what we want to do to this van to make it work for our particular trade. So that's really one of the most important questions is, how are you going to be using the van? Do you need shelving for storage? Do you need to protect the floors and the walls and the ceilings? Do you need a ladder rack? Do you need different equipment to protect the cargo because you're maybe do work in some high theft areas or just worried about things getting stolen, things like that. So those are just things to take into account before you even begin upfitting the van. Now I want to talk about some things on the inside of the van that you need to take into consideration when upfitting. So the ProMaster City, like I said, is a compact van, so you're going to be limited on height. You're only going to fit about a 44, maybe a 46-inch high shelf in the back of this van just because of the roof height restrictions. The other thing to take into account is the RAM ProMaster City has dual sliding doors. So a lot of people, they'll just put shelving up to that sliding door in the back of the van here on both sides. But another popular option is to actually do two shelves. So you have one kind of on this wall here, and then another one next to it that's attached. It actually sits in front of one of the sliding doors so that you can get access to that shelf from inside or outside the van. Now, the other thing to consider in the ProMaster City is how wide shelves you want to put back here. Now, the beautiful thing about shelving and just this equipment in general is you can do whatever you want, really. At the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. It's just a matter of, are you gonna have to cut stuff and fabricate things to make it work? So our recommendation is usually to go with about a 32 to 37 inch wide shelf if you just wanna stick in this wall area in the back of the van. That does vary depending on the manufacturer. For example, Holman, they are gonna recommend a 32-inch shelf back here. WeatherGuard is 36 and MasterRack is 37, so it's about the same. And the one thing to consider when putting a shelf in the this back wall area is this wheel well here. It does protrude a little bit, and you really wanna get that shelf as close to this wall as possible so that if you do have shelving on both sides or even just on one side, you can really maximize the cargo area either between those shelves or just between the shelf and the other wall. So usually what that means on this shelf in front of the wall here is you're gonna mount one of your shelves a little bit higher so you can clear this wheel well and really push this shelf up against the wall as much as you can. So if you're just gonna do one shelf here, you're gonna start with a 32 to 37 inch wide shelf, maybe 44 inches high. It's gonna be between 12 inches and 14 inches deep. And that'll be your single shelf here. Now you can do that on both sides. Everything I'm talking about over here can also be applied over here because it's gonna be a mirror copy. Now if you want another shelf back here, maybe you need just more cargo storage area, you can either opt to do one shelf against this wall, one shelf against this wall, and you'll have a little about 2-foot hallway in between the two shelves right here. Or you can do your 36-inch wide shelf here and do another shelf that is connected to the shelf that sits in front of that door. And so in that case, you're just gonna take two 36-inch shelves or 34-inch shelves, stack them next to each other, and you're gonna have basically 72 inches of shelving wall here. One that you can access from that door, the other you're gonna access back here, and you'll be good to go. If you just wanna max out this area in shelving, you can do that. You can do your two shelves here, two shelves here, and have about a 2-foot hallway in the middle that you can throw stuff in, haul cargo around, and all of that. So it's really gonna depend on your trade. Do you need like basically 2/3 of this van area available for hauling cargo and various things, and then the shelf is going to store inventory or tools or whatever you want to do. It's really up to you and what you need to do. Now, if you call us and you say, I've got this vehicle, I'm an electrician, I'm a plumber, this is my trade, what do you recommend for us? Usually the first thing that we're gonna do is say, take a look at the equipment packages. So if you go to our website, there's a section called equipment packages. They're pre-configured equipment packages that are kind of broken up by trade. So HVAC, plumbing, electrician, locksmith, just general contractor, a bunch of different categories that you can choose from. Choose one of those that looks like it makes the most sense, and start there. You're gonna get a list of everything that's included in that package, in that upfit, all the shelving you're gonna get, partition you're gonna get, the accessories you're gonna get. I usually start there and then subtract things that you think you're not gonna need. So for me, I start with like the most decked out version package for the ProMaster City, and then I say, okay, no, I don't need bins, I don't need drawers, or I don't need 4 shelves, I just need 2. And you kind of can decontent that package to make it fit your needs. On our website, when you look at the equipment packages, if we scroll down, it's going to show you everything that's included in that kit, and you can order all those things separately, and the pricing ends up being the same. So whether you buy the package, you add the package to your car, or you add every individual component to your car, the pricing is going to be the same. So you're not missing out on like a discount or anything like that if you decide to purchase things separately or remove things from a particular package. So that's usually where I start, is I find something that's already pre-configured, pre-built, I know it's gonna work, and then I just start removing things that I don't need. Sometimes your van comes with a partition when you get it. Maybe it was previously installed by another owner, or maybe came from the factory that way, whatever the case is, and you don't need that, and you do the same thing, because all of our equipment packages, I think for the most part, include a partition. And maybe you may want a different partition. And so you can add all the components, the shelving components separately, and then pick out the partition that you want for your van. So, that's usually our recommendation. Again, you can always call us, go to upfitsupply.com. We got our phone number there right at top to reach out and contact us and say, hey, this is what vehicle I have, these are the problems I'm facing, this is what I need, and we'll help you configure a solution that's gonna be right for you. Now the shelving, when you order it, every shelf that you order includes kind of out of the box universal straps and brackets to attach it to the vehicle. So you don't need to worry about that. But one thing that some of the manufacturers have done, like Holman and WeatherGuard, is they actually make special fabricated brackets that are for individual vehicles. And so they'll give you a bracket kit for mounting a shelf back here. And so it'll mount into like little locations like the D-ring here, or there's some pre-threaded little mounting points in the back of the van, and they'll take advantage of that so you're not having to drill holes and possibly hit a fuel line or something like that, a gas tank. They take the guesswork out of mounting that shelf back here by giving these prefabricated brackets for mounting the shelving. So if you do get one of those equipment packages like I was talking about earlier, you can actually, or those actually do include those mounting brackets, so it's gonna be super simple to install your shelving back here. Now, shelving, the shelf itself is really just the base of the pizza, if you will. It's the cheese pizza. And you can add all the different toppings and things that you need to make it better. Bins, doors, drawers, hooks, even like a tank rack for your Freon and things like that. You can add to your Upfit to make your van work for you and be work ready when you're out in the field. The other thing to consider just beyond shelving is what are you going to do to protect these surfaces? So this is all just sheet metal back here. There's a couple of little plastic components back here that are going to be protected even on the doors. But what are you going to do to protect the surface from wear and tear over time? You can see this one's kind of rough. The previous owner just took a piece of cheap carpet and cut it in here, but they spilled paint on it. And so there's paint everywhere in here. It did protect the floor from getting scratched and things like that, but it really didn't provide a whole lot of protection and just kind of wore down and was gross after time. So you want to think about what type of floor you can put in here. We've got a lot of different flooring options for the ProMaster City to choose from. Same thing with these walls. If you're loading some heavy equipment, lumber, cinder blocks, any type of material, and you accidentally nick a wall or something like that, that could cause paint to chip, and then you're talking about rust and corrosion over time. So what are you gonna do to protect your walls, maybe your ceilings, your floors? Other thing is like glass. So you can see back here, we have glass deleted from their side doors. In the back, we do have the glass. So we're gonna put in some window guards, actually, or some window screens. They're metal mesh screens that are gonna protect that glass so that if you got a piece of lumber that's a little bit too long sticking out the door and you slam that door shut, it's not gonna shatter the glass, it's just gonna bounce. It's also gonna protect the cargo tools equipment back here from prying eyes who may look in here, and it just gives you another layer of security. The other thing to think about is the bulkhead. So there's a lot of different bulkhead options. You can get a mesh bulkhead, you can get one with a window on it. You can get a composite bulkhead. So, you know, consider what you want. This does not have the delete glass in the back. So you could get a partition with a window so you can still see when you're backing out. It's funny, we bought this van and it had a partition in it, which was really nice, but there was no window on it, so you just got all the drawbacks of glass in the back without any of the benefits. So just something to take into consideration. The other thing is locks. So cargo van break-ins and theft is on the rise, unfortunately. So what are you gonna do to protect your van from getting broken into? And so Slick Locks is a popular solution. It's a no drill bracket system that attaches to kind of existing holes and screw points on your doors, and then you can attach a puck lock to those brackets. It's super simple and easy install. It's also relatively inexpensive. There's also the security lock system, which is from Legend, that you're gonna have to drill some holes into the door, but it's a really tight system that is essentially impenetrable. You can't rip that lock off with you know, channel locks or a Sawzall or something like that. It's a really beefy lock system. Another one is a Maroni lock. And then there's the Thunderbolt deadbolt, which is basically inside of this door panel here, you're gonna put a little mechanism that slides a deadbolt. You can't see anything from the outside. You're just not gonna be able to get into this van because it's a deadbolt that's gonna lock your doors shut. So again, what are you gonna do to prevent unauthorized access to the back of your cargo and protect your valuables? You know, we're not gonna go up there, but another thing to think about is just the cab. So what about the seats? You know, we bought this from a former painter. As you can tell, there's paint on the floor here, but there's paint everywhere on those seats. And so it doesn't look too pretty up there. So we're gonna put in some Tiger Tough seat covers in there to protect those seats and just improve the general aesthetic at this point. But those seat covers, they're weatherproof, tear-proof, all that, so it's gonna protect the investment of the van. Another thing is the floor down there is this guy just had some generic floor mats up there, and it was sliding in front of the brake pedal and all of that, and so you may want to take a look at something like a WeatherTech floor liner that's kind of a laser measured and precision fit floor liner that is specific for that wheel or that footwell, and it's going to protect the carpet down there in the van. It's easy to take it out, hose it off, and put it back in. So just another way to protect your cab up front. So I hope this video has served as a basic overview of upfitting a RAM ProMaster City. Again, if you have any questions, need any help, visit us at upfitsupply.com. We got our phone number up there, a chat, email, however you want to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you figure out what you need to do in the back of your van. If you're looking for any equipment to upfit your van so that's work ready, be sure to check us out at upfitsupply.com. Again, my name is Ryan, and have a good one.